All right. Been watching a little countdown here to go live, and I still managed to get surprised. Fish fry sounds great. It's been years for you. Well, yeah, it's every Friday occurrence in Wisconsin, and somebody somewhere's got a fish fry going. But anyhow, let's do a little see who we got, see who all we have here. Go back to the top. Cynthia Wesley, good to see you. Raymond found himself a couple of Wusthof knives, both for $6 in the box. A good knife is a good friend. Let's see, Cynthia, Darla Allred, howdy. Dan, Billy Lee. Let's see, Corey Clark. Raymond, nice to see you, Raymond. Mike Washburn. I think I got just about everybody almost caught back up. Daniel Barrett, new member, finally made it to a pre-live stream. Well, that's good. Always somebody hanging around for a few minutes beforehand, chit-chatting. Dan Bookworm, Rick Stambaugh, Mike Washburn again, and Men Encourager, R.T. Scott. Yeah, like the little thing underneath me here says, does anybody know how to get Pawpaw Dan in here? I wouldn't have believed it could turn into such an ordeal to try and give somebody a skillet top for a Lodge 4-in-1 combo cooker, but it did. Last week on Cast Iron Chaos' show on Wednesday, he mentioned that he was looking for one of these, didn't have one, and as luck would have it, I have an extra, kind of an orphan. I have a hammered Lodge combo cooker, the chicken fryer with the skillet lid, and somebody sent me, can't remember who it was now, grateful to him anyway, somebody sent me a hammered skillet lid to go with it. I had a smooth lid. This isn't the hammered one, that's the smooth lid. And so this is just kind of an extra, and I figured it'd be some good cast iron karma to just send this to Pawpaw Dan. Well, after taking up about a fourth of the poor guy's chat over on Cast Iron Chaos, we finally managed to get a way for him to send me, or for me to send him my email address so he could send me his mailing address. Well, I sent him, he finally got my email address, themudbrooker@yahoo.com, and it wouldn't go through for some reason. And that's kind of where we're stuck now. We went back and forth on the message on my last video, and for some reason it wouldn't go through, and I haven't heard from him for a few days. If he comes onto the show, into the chat tonight, what I'll do is I'll put up a link to the StreamYard, and he can come in and I can put him backstage, and he'll be able to see the private chat in StreamYard, and he can give me his address there, and I can finally send out this Lodge 4-in-1 skillet lid for a combo cooker that he needs. So if anybody knows how to get a hold of him, they've seen him floating around somewhere else online, say, hey, come over to Mud's live show, and we can get this underway. Because, yeah, I'd really like to send it to him. He really was excited to have a chance to have one, and that'll work out good if we can ever get this ordeal underway so I can get a mailing address so I can get this sent out. But anyway, yeah, if you see him, I'm going to be in, I'll watch Cast Iron Chaos tomorrow, see if he's in there, and try and figure something out. I don't know why it wouldn't go through on the Yahoo email. There's nothing in spam filters either, so there's something going on. But at any rate, like I said, once we get this settled out, we'll get that given away. Let's see, I'll set him down here. Found a couple of cool things this week. One of them, it's not cookware necessarily, but it's this. This is a Corona corn grinder. That's for grinding corn, surprisingly enough. It's missing two little parts. There should be a tin cover that goes over the top of the of the milling burrs so you don't spray bits of corn all over the place. And there's a hopper that goes for it, but you can still get parts for these online. It came with this little thing on it, but that's not part of it. I'm not sure what that's for. It's for some other kind of grinder type thing. But it's heavy. It's cast iron. And it's plated. And there's a kind of a little ink or paint stamp on there. I don't know if you can quite make it out. It's made in Colombia. And I paid $8 for it. And that'll be kind of handy. You can make some genuine ground corn tortillas with this, or grind corn for cornmeal, anything of that sort. You know, if you feel like standing there cranking it for a while, because I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be a real fast process. You can grind other things with it. You can grind, you know, wheat, rice, you name it, barley. And kind of a slick little thing to have. But for $8, and it'll cost probably $25 to get the cover and the hopper for it. So that'll work out pretty good. Anyway, but I thought $8, yeah, it's kind of a cool deal. Set him aside. And now on to Alfred Anderson. And Alfred Anderson doesn't mess around. I'll show you some other things that they make. And the Alfred Anderson was the founder and CEO of the Western Importing Company in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Didn't actually make cast iron, but he contracted out to make cast iron cookware, mostly for a Scandinavian customer base. They made things like kroomkaka irons, wafer irons, monk pans, which are Abel skewer pans, which I forgot to grab. Damn it. That's the other thing I was looking for and didn't grab. You know, like I said, mostly aimed for a Scandinavian market because there's a lot of Scandinavian immigrants in this part of the country at the time. So they were looking for things like that, and he decided to fill that void in the market. He started about 1894, 1895 with this company. And the first couple of years, they had local foundries contracted out to make their stuff. But after about 1898, 99, they contracted with Griswold to make their things. One of the things that they're most known for are these heart-shaped waffle irons. Pretty similar to a Griswold. And, you know, they have the same style of hinge that Griswold was making at the time. And they use the same bases as Griswold things. I got that. I also have a kroomkaka iron, Cornucopia kroomkaka, patented. And those make round wafers with that pattern on them. Did a video using this and making some kroomkaka with a cannoli filling. They're pretty similar to a cannoli. You know, you roll them up basically into a cone or a tube, and you put a filling in them. I made a cannoli filling for my kroomkaka, and it turned out real good. But what's really nice about these is they use a Griswold number 8 waffle iron base. And you can often find a kroomkaka iron or the heart-shaped waffle iron with a base a lot cheaper than you can find a Griswold. Now, some of them are marked. See, that's the 975. That's the Griswold catalog number for the number 8 base. But it says WI Cole. That's Western Importing Company. But a lot of them, either you can't see that or it just has a Griswold mark. And sometimes people made them up with a Griswold marked base. But that is a number 8 Griswold waffle iron base. So if you keep an eye out, a lot of times you can find the Andresen waffle irons or kroomkaka irons with the base a lot cheaper. And if you need a Griswold base for your Griswold waffle irons, that's one way to get it. Usually at a better price than what you would pay for a Griswold base on its own. You can get a base and a kroomkaka iron, and you have both. You can just interchange them back and forth on the one base. Another thing that Andresen made were rosette irons, or patty molds, they're sometimes called. Anyway, I have a set of Griswold. These are Griswold patty molds. can see them. And these are the two, the kind of bullseye and the little snowflake shape. Andresen also made those shapes as well, but they both made these deeper ones, like these. There's a heart-shaped deep one, and there's a round deep one. Got the cone. And these are also made by Griswold. Sometimes the Griswold ones are marked Griswold. A lot of times they're not. But these are identical to the Griswold patty molds of the same size. And it's got a handle underneath the bottom here. I got this at a church thrift sale for $1. And the top of the box is gone, but it's got the bottom. But what really tickled me was this notice on the bottom of the box. I'll read that off to you. The rosette iron. This rosette iron is licensed by us for sale and use only when sold to the public at a price of not less than 50 cents. Thank God I paid $1 for it. No license is granted to sell or use this rosette iron when sold at a less price. Any sale or use of this rosette iron when sold in violation of this condition will be considered an infringement of our letters of patent of the United States under which this rosette iron is constructed. And all parties so selling or using this rosette iron, contrary to the terms of this license, will be treated as infringers of said letters patent and will render themselves liable to suit for damages without further notice. This license is good only so long as the label remains upon the rosette iron, and erasure or removal of this label will be construed as a violation of this license. A purchase is an acceptance of these conditions, all rights reverting to the undersigned in the event of any violation. Alfred Anderson and Company, Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA. Like I said, Alfred ain't screwing around. But anyway, I was tickled to find these because these are, they're Griswold rosette irons. And I've been looking to get the other two for the full set. Now, Griswold and Anderson both sold either two at a time like this, two of the different styles, or they sold all four of them together sometimes. And I know Griswold did. I'm not sure about Alfred Anderson. They sold a complete set that had all four rosette irons and a patty bowl. Is what, if you ever come across a Griswold patty bowl, that's what it is. It's a little deep frying bowl. Looks like a Scotch bowl, only a bit smaller. And it was meant for deep frying your rosettes. But I thought that was really cool, that little disclaimer on the back of the box. So luckily I paid $1 for them, so I don't have to worry about Alfred Anderson coming after me. Wasn't Pawpaw Dan not doing good last week, Cynthia? I don't know. Like I said, we were talking back and forth in the comments on Cast Iron Chaos's show last week, and he got hold of me later on, but I haven't heard from him since Saturday or Sunday. You can get the cone rollers online. Yeah, and I found a decent cone roller for my Kroomkaka iron. They're real fun to make, the Kroomkaka, and you can fill them with just about any sort of thing you want to. Randy Maple, nice find. Found 10 new pieces this week. Well, that's cool. Can you ask a question about a Mr. Skillet? I can show that. Yeah, go ahead and ask away. Might be able to figure it out. Let's see, get caught up here. Can't see mud. There's a Pawpaw wanted sign on the screen. Okay, I'll take it down. Is there a reward? Well, there could be. Well, there's a reward for him if he wants to do something nice. How do you identify the rosette irons? Well, these are easy because they come in an Alfred Anderson box. But they some of the Griswold ones, they'll say Griswold like along here or kind of inside on the bottom. But a lot of them aren't marked, even the Griswolds. If they come in the box, it's good to know. But there's also other ones that were made. Nordic Ware made quite a few of them. They made both cast iron and aluminum ones. They're usually marked Nordic Ware. But the Griswold ones are the easiest to identify if they're marked. Yeah, I saw a video of some guy using a chicken fryer to melt down lead. Yeah, I mean, it happens. The a lot of the deep fryers, especially because they were small deep pot, they had a pour lip on them and they had a wire bail. So if you ever get a cast iron deep fryer, you're probably going to want to check that for lead. And sometimes the saucepans, not quite as much because they didn't have the bail and the handle. The cast iron bail or the bail wire bail on them made it real easy to pour out of them. I have a gate mark skillet with a raised 8 on the bottom of the handle. Just inside it has a VM the entire way around. The only thing I can find is Virginia Metalworks. Maybe. I mean, that would be my guess. If it says VM the entire way around, yeah, that'd definitely be. Some of the, I can't remember if the initial skillets had a number on the bottom of the handle. Let me check. Set this down somewhere. It's not going to get kicked over. Let me double check here quick. There is my initial skillet. Where did I put it? I just had my initial skillet the other day and I don't know where the hell I hung it back up. There it is. I think the initial skillet still had them on top. I do have don't have that one handy either. Hang on, one more thing. Don't have that one handy. But neither one of them were gate marked. I was thinking, an initial skillet like that, that has a raised 8 on or raised 9 on top of the handle. I have one that's a recast of an early Erie skillet, and that does have a raised number on the bottom of the handle, but there's no gate mark on it. So Virginia Metalworks is probably as likely as anything else, really. It can be tough with the gate mark stuff because a lot of it isn't marked, and some of the stuff that is, nobody knows. It's just initials or something like that. Nobody knows anymore who the initials were for. You have a Wagner Sydney O fat-free fryer. What can I tell you about it? The fat-free fryers, they're kind of like a griddle with a gutter around the outside. The idea was excess fat would run off into the gutter, and you wouldn't be frying it in so much fat. You still need to grease the pan a little bit, but if you're frying up, sausage or bacon or something like that, instead of having it sit in the pool of grease, the excess would gather in that little channel around the outside. I've got one, but that's in the pile. I don't have that hanging up. Originally, they were called fat-free fryers, and they came out, I think, in the late 20s, early 30s, the fat-free fryers. Or no, they called them greaseless fryers first. And after that, they changed it to fat-free fryer, I think in the mid-30s, if I remember my timeline correctly, maybe 1940, but around there. And they made them for quite a while. They made them all the way through up into the 60s, I believe. The handle style on them changed a little bit in the, towards the end, in the late 50s, early 60s. The handle style changed on them a bit, but I can't remember exactly what. So, but yeah, they're, an interesting pan. They're great for a griddle, or if you're frying, like bacon or sausage or something like that. It helps to keep them from getting too greasy. It gets the excess I don't need my glasses on for this. Keeps them getting too greasy. You know, and I usually see them selling for 50 to 80 bucks. It's kind of the price is kind of all over the place on them. Your mom gave you your Griswold patty mold still in the box, either 1963 wedding present or a grandma or my grandmother's. I couldn't remember. Boxes neat. Yeah, they are cool. I mean, and I think there's a couple different, two different sizes and like two or three different styles depending on when they were made. You know, there's a whole, you know, there's a few different variations on them. But yeah, I mean, they're basically like a Scotch bowl, only they're smaller and they're meant for deep frying for frying up your rosettes. It was a deep fryer for sure, no wire hanger. Yeah, you know, like I said, you gotta if you get a cast iron deep fryer, you're gonna want to definitely want to check it for lead. How many different size saucepans did BSR make? Uh, I know they made two or three different sized enameled ones, but I'm not sure with the plain cast if they made two or three or if they made more than that. I wouldn't think they'd made more than four, but yeah, I'm not really positive. Alrighty, people. You got your number 10 Griswold griddle fixed. Had to re-drill and tap new threads in the handle and get a wooden handle to fit nice. Yeah, and a lot of the waffle irons, even if they originally had wooden handles, they were still drilled and tapped for the spiral wire handles too. You know, it's just simpler for production. Or some of them weren't drilled and tapped, but it was the same, the same pattern. Wasn't Papa going to go see a new eye doctor? Yeah, I'll keep trying to get hold of him. You know, if he's in Cast Iron Chaos's chat tomorrow, you know, I'll see if we can get a little something. Oh, which reminds me, I got a little bit of bad news. I'm going to be working afternoon shift for the next two Tuesdays, this coming Tuesday and the one after it. So I won't be able to do a live show. I'm working on an experiment, which I think is going to work out. And if it does, I'm going to film it regardless, providing it works out, which it should. But I'm going to make a regular video of that, and I'll set it up to premiere on Tuesday night at 6:30. I probably won't be there. Probably won't even be in the chat. Maybe we'll see how my work goes around. But you know, so you at least have something on Tuesday evening. But I won't be live. So, and the Tuesday after that, well, maybe think of something, or I just won't be here. But anyway, like I said, the next two Tuesdays, there won't be a live show. Picked up a mystery Dutch oven, has number 8 on top of the lid. In the bottom of the Dutch oven is stamped Dutch oven number 8 under the position of one of the handles. Are the numbers kind of italicized on the bottom? Number 8. I'm trying to remember. I know what that is too. The kind of describe the inside of the bottom of the lid, and let me know if the numbers are kind of slanted on the bottom of the Dutch oven. VM around the fire ring is smaller, and the raised 8 is in the pocket of the opening hole on the bottom of the handle. Yeah, you know, you're probably closest with being Virginia Metalworks, but you know, I can't really say. Hi, Melanie from SoCal. Howdy. Good to see you. Wagner made saucepans and you can't find any. Yeah, I haven't seen any Wagner cast iron saucepans. Seen a lot of Wagner aluminum and Magnolite ones, but yeah, I haven't come across any of the cast iron ones. I've seen once in a while the Wagner deep fryer come around for sale, but the regular saucepans, no, I haven't seen any. Haven't seen any cast iron ones. Usually the cast iron saucepans you come across most often are either Lodge or BSR. There's others out there, I'm sure, but yeah, and some of the imports, the Le Creuset, the Dansko, or Desco rather. Is Lodge still making chicken fryers? Yeah, they are. All I found was an orange Le Creuset number 16 enameled saucepan with a lid. Well, that's pretty good because Le Creuset is a real popular brand. They're expensive to begin with, and even finding them used, they're a pretty expensive brand. You have Asian France, that's nice too. Yeah, the lid too. William Hurt just stumbled in. I'm a little bit behind on the comments, almost caught up. Paid $4. Well, that's a hell of a deal for a Le Creuset. You know, normally, I mean, they go for 100, pretty much anything Le Creuset, unless it's, you know, just battered half to death, will go for anywhere from $100 on up. I mean, I've seen some of their stuff go for, you know, 300, 400, 500, depending on what it is. Like, it was fairly expensive to begin with. It's a good name, and it's real popular. So yeah, they really go for high prices. Finally got a BSR sauce pot. Got another lid with the same stamped like Wagwald, and the underside of the lid has 3 rows of broken lines. Do I still have that within arm's reach? Maybe, maybe not. That's only 2 rows. I was thinking for a while that could be a Griswold Iron Mountain, because that's got a raised date on it, but it's got the 2 rows of broken lines, and it has the stock number. But I know what you talk about, the, you know, number abbreviated big N, little old 8. Yeah, I know who makes that, and I can't for the life of me think of who it is. But at first I thought it might be one of these, the Iron Mountain ones, but no, it isn't. It's gonna drive me nuts. Hopefully somebody in the chat will recognize it. I know what you're talking about, but it's just not coming to mind. I have a 2-quart Century Series saucepan. You love it. Yeah, like I said, I have a couple of enameled, or at least one enameled BSR saucepan. Good hamburger fryer is Bookworm. I've got to look back and see what Bookworm said, but well, whatever it was a good hamburger fryer. Oh man, I don't think it was favorite that I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's gonna drive me nuts. I can't think of who made it, and I know who it is too, but it's just going right through my mind. Thinking it might be Volrath, but doesn't fit. No, probably not Volrath. It's not an old Lodge. I think Martin had them like that. Does the handle, instead of just being kind of an arc handle, you know, instead of just being kind of a arc loop like that, does the handle have like kind of a post that comes up on either side and then a straight cross piece between them? That could be what I'm thinking of. It might be a Martin. think with the 3 rows it is Martin. Yeah, now that everybody's kind of coming around to the same conclusion, because Martins have a really distinctive handle on them. Like I said, instead of being the kind of a looped arch like most makers did, they had 2 straight pieces that came up and then a little bit of a cross piece between them. Just a regular handle, but thick. It still could be a Martin, maybe. It sounds. Yeah, I'm just about sure that it would be, but yeah, I think it was definitely. Well, I don't want to say definitely, but I'm pretty sure that the Martin had the abbreviated N like that, and the big N, little O, and then the size number. I'm fairly sure it's a Martin. Vollrath no longer sells iron pans, but they do make carbon steel. Saw them at a local restaurant supply store, pretty cheap. Might go back for one. Yeah, Vollrath's still in business. They make a lot of commercial kitchen equipment, restaurant, serving ware, that sort of thing. But they haven't made cast iron since mid to late 60s. Let me look quick. It's going to be. I'll have to flip through here and see if I can find a Martin lid like that. Could have been King stove and range as well. Let me see if they have some pictures of the some lids. There's a couple. Zola. I'm not sure if those are King. Yeah, see here, let me see if we can get a little picture. There's the style of most Martin handles like that, but some of their camp ovens had a little bit different handle on them. But they do have, let me show one here that has a little better picture of it. That's a little bigger. That one's a Mazzola, but they have that. They have the 3 broken rings, and they have that style of number 8 on it. So it could definitely be a Martin or a King stove and range, because they started off as King and kind of became Martin. They ended up merging. Let me see if we got some. Well, those are toys and miniatures. That's a porcelain one. But yeah, I think it's probably most likely a Martin or a King stove and range. Just going by the rings inside and by the number 8, the way it's written. Let me see, catch back up here. For me though, Vollrath makes big restaurant stoves. Yeah, they make French fry cutters. I have one. It's a red coal French fry cutter, but they're actually Vollrath now. Let a number 8 screwhead BSR griddle get away from you. That's always kind of a shame when they do a lost track of time. Yeah, I've done that, or something I was going to bid on and forgot all about it, or got busy with something else, and oh hell, I should have, realized 2 hours after the auction closes that I was going to bid on that. Found a number 8 Wagner Lodge 3 Mark BSR Century Lodge chicken fryer, 3 Lodge lids, Lodge Dutch oven, number 3 BSR, and a number 6 nickel plated outside heat ring. Cool. I like nickel plated stuff. I mean, I just like the look of it. Selling your wood cook stove, how come? Mudbrooker washes his pans with soap and water. Yes, I do, in fact. Jules. Jules and I are teasing each other back and forth constantly. I accuse her of heinous crimes like putting empty milk cartons back in the fridge and leaving one sheet of toilet paper on the roll and not changing it. But yeah, I actually do wash my cast iron pans with soap and water. It's a myth that you can't do that. Let's see. And so do I, Jules. Yeah, so you're not likely to offend too many people here with that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a Martin or a King stove and range lid. Slurping my coffee. Got too much half and half in my coffee, but I can live with it. Yeah, you don't have to, scrub your cast iron with coarse salt and half a potato. You can if you want. It does work. But it goes back to the olden days when they use lye soap, and there's usually a little bit of extra lye in there if it was homemade, and that would strip off the seasoning. But modern detergents don't do that, so it's not really a problem. And it works damn good. And if your pan is well seasoned, you're not going to hurt anything at all. If it's seasoned, it's not going to rust it. So that we do too. Put a shot of bourbon in it. I should probably do that. But anyhow, where were we? Trying to remember if I covered everything I wanted to cover. Yeah, hopefully Pawpaw Dan's all right. Uses Dawn on his pans. No, I use the cheapest stuff they got at the dollar store. I don't pay extra money for Dawn. Although I guess there is one Dawn product that is kind of hard on the seasoning. I've heard tell. It's nothing I've ever used because, like I say, I just use cheap dish soap. But it's the I don't know. It's one of the fancier Dawn products. The super scrubby type stuff that does the dishes for you, and you pay $20 extra for. Power Shot, is that it? And yeah, I guess that can actually cause problems, but I don't know for sure. I just heard that. Not for long. Dawn is so high now. Yeah, I've always, like I say, I always use just whatever's the cheapest. The cheapest big size they got at the store, the dollar store, or whatever. So you're not gonna hurt anything scrubbing your stuff with even using I use a stainless steel scrubber. Chainmail scrubbers work good. They knock the stuff off them real good if you got things stuck on. Just wave the soap over mine. Yeah, you don't need a whole lot. Usually I just throw it in the sink, do them last when I do dishes. Throw them in the sink full of hot water and let them soak for a minute or two, and stuff just lifts right off. But if there's stuff really fried on hard, I'll give it a few drops of soap and a little bit of water and get in there and scrub it good. And you're using the soap there more like you would cutting oil than anything else. Dawn at Costco might still be a decent price. Yeah, it might be. We don't have any Costco's around here. We're out in the hinterlands. Although I think there was talk they're going to be building one within the next year or so. Grandma washed her potatoes with palm olive, still blowing bubbles. Yeah, that's I don't see where you need soap and water on your potatoes. I do use a Scotch-Brite pad on potatoes a lot of times, and just kind of knock the dirt off and polish them up a little bit, and it works nice. Works better than a brush does usually. Getting ready to do a little camping on the Mendocino coast. I hear it's nice out there. I haven't been to California, but I guess Mendocino area is pretty good. We don't We don't have a Costco. I hear that a lot. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure they're planning on building one sometime this year or early next. Got your mouth washed out with a bar of soap a few times. The bar soap wasn't too bad as when Ma grabbed the dish soap. That was a much more intense lesson. You got to get all that damn dish soap out of your mouth. You're just at the AC supply store for a filter, talking to the talking about coil cleaner alternatives. They recommended the Strong Dawn. It's that strong. Yeah, I suppose it would work because it's mostly dust and kind of greasy stuff out of the air that plugs up the coils on your air conditioner. Do that on your potatoes too. Scotch Brite works great. Yeah, it does. It really cleans them up good. Just make sure you rinse it out good so it's not salty from the last thing that you scrubbed with it. Verona by Madison built a new Costco. Yeah, pretty sure they're planning on one in Eau Claire here pretty soon. So that'd be somewhat nearby anyway. I'm pretty sure I got them over in the Twin Cities, but kind of defeats the purpose of buying things cheap if you end up spending a fortune in gas getting there and back. It's like people that burn an extra gallon and a half of gas so they can save 3 cents a gallon when they fill their tank and save 40 cents on it. Trying to remember, there's one more thing that I was gonna talk about, but it's escaped me. But at least I have something to talk about 2 weeks from now. Because, like I said, I won't be here next week or the following. What brand cook stove is yours? Is a water jacket a must? No, you don't need a water jacket. I mean, it was important if you wanted to heat water. Back in the old days before you had an electric or gas water heater, they were great for that. But you don't really need one, just to use it as a stove. And a lot of them didn't have the water jackets. It was an extra option that you paid extra for. What brand is mine? It's a All American. Yeah, All American. But it was available through Sears, and I think there's an American stove company over in Minnesota that made pretty similar ones. I've seen one that's just about identical to mine. That was American Stove Company, and it was blue and white, real pretty blue, but pretty rough shape. It wouldn't really be worth buying for a wood stove, but I mean, it'd be nice to sit in your kitchen to use it for a cupboard or something like that. But you couldn't really fire it up. But yeah, it was. It's an All American, and like I say, it also says world's largest store on the nameplate. So it was something that was sold through Sears. But Monarch, Majestic, they're big names that you can usually find around. And there's a million other brands out there. But no, you don't need a water jacket. Why are you selling your stove? Did you find another one, or are you or are you looking for something better? Let's see here. You could even put like a 5-gallon pot to heat it up. Also, I think I missed something here. Oh, the water jacket. A lot of them had a reservoir too. Like mine there, you can see that kind of box on the side. That's a water reservoir. It wouldn't get it hot, but to keep your water fairly warm. And you also have water on hand, so when it was time to cook or time to do dishes or something like that, you had a supply of warm water on hand, and it wouldn't take so long to heat it up. What about waffle irons? Got one a few months back. It has card suits for the design and has a 7.8 on it, no handles. Yeah, there's a lot of different designs of waffle irons out there, and a lot of different brands rather. The card suits, uh, I think I've seen one. You know, they're not real common. I mean, they're not the ones you're going to come across most often. It has a 7.8 on it. Some of the older ones, like that, the really old Wagner that I have, it says number 8 or 9, or 8 and 9. And that was, they would fit on two different sizes of eyes in the wood stove. But the card suits, I can't tell you offhand who made it. And I think I've seen them, but I'm not really positive offhand. But yeah, there's a million different kinds of waffle irons out there. And, like I said, I showed you, the heart. That's the Anderson heart design. Griswold made a heart design. They made a hearts and stars. The hearts and stars go for quite a bit of money. Especially they made two sizes, and the bigger size goes for a lot more. But yeah, there's all kinds of different designs out there. Let's see. Lewis missed last Thursday. Life, yeah, it gets in the way sometimes. You want open eyes? Here's is a flat type Ashley made. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you'd be able to find. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with the Ashley brand name, but sometimes you can find either flat top or the open top with eyes for the same maker, but probably be more screwing around to try and find something like that than it would be just to get a different stove. Pretty sure it's 7 or 8. The design makes you think it's late 1800s. Probably. I mean, if it says, usually if they have the two different size numbers on it, that's usually late 1800s. When you say no handles, is it missing the handles, or did it not have handles on it? That would date it a little bit more too, because where do I put it? Hold on here. A lot of the I got stuff scattered around. I'm gonna lose the track of where everything's at. A lot of the designs from the 1800s didn't have handles on them. They didn't have handles on them. They were meant to flip the whole thing like that over your wood stove. This is a favorite, Piqua, but I'm pretty sure they made this before 1916. 1916 is when they first put out a catalog with hollowware, cookware type stuff. But the design of the waffle iron they have in that 1916 catalog is like most waffle irons are. They have wooden handles like that, and you flip them this way. But the design of this Piqua one is actually almost identical to an older company, GWGE Davis. Anyway, the Davis company, and Sanford Bowl, who was the president of and founder of the Favorite Stove Company, used to be a partner with Davis before the Davis company went broke. He was one of the owners, and I'm pretty sure he just used the Davis design. And like I say, they're meant to flip the whole thing over this way. And you can see there's holes in that little tab there. You could hook that with something, and that's how you'd open it up. Get it up a little higher, and that's how you'd open it. I don't know where that one is. I must have set that somewhere else. I have a Foxell and Jones, which is from like the 1870s. That had a wire handle that kind of hooked on here, and you could lift it and flip it over, and it had a hook that would come down and catch this. But yours has the baffle attachment for hot water. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the water jacket kind of around the firebox. Mega waffle iron is that to give me clues. Probably the one with probably in an Amish blacksmith shop. Worth the 30. Yeah, that was kind of cool. I mean, it's got the 4-foot long handles on it, so you could probably meant for doing it over an open fire or in a fireplace. But yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like something from the mid 1800s. That super duper waffle iron of yours. Is there an easy way to add pictures to the chat? No, not really. But if you have a webcam or a phone, when I come back in 2 weeks, we can do an open stream, and you can join in the stream, and you can show stuff on air, and that's fairly easy. But trying to post a snapshot, a picture, or something on the chat, can't really do that, or you can't really do that from the chat. I mean, I could post pictures from this end, but it's kind of a pain. So I tell you what, if you when I come back in a couple of weeks, if you can have it ready, you can come in and join the chat, be on the show, and show your thing, and everybody can have a look at it. I think that's what we'll do. Plan on doing plan on doing an open stream. Okay. Bet you have a Dollar General. Yeah, Dollar Generals have pretty much taken over everywhere. Walmart came in and ran all the local businesses out of business, and then Dollar General kind of came in and filled the void, really. Thanks for the help. I think it might be some form of Martin Dutch oven. Yeah, probably. I mean, the lid definitely sounds like a Martin of some type, Brooke. So, I think the general consensus in the chat was that it was a Martin. Was a Martin or maybe a King, something of that sort. Yep, in every town. Yeah, even little small rinky-dink towns, either Dollar General or Family Dollar, I think is another big one. But yeah, they kind of filled the void that Walmart created, because a lot of Walmarts, they in smaller or medium-sized towns, they came in and it ran all the local businesses out, and then a few years later, Walmart closed that store, and they want you to go to the one 20 miles away. They kind of run everybody out and then tried to centralize into one location. So that's not really uncommon. They expect they try and make it so Walmart is the only place to shop, and then close down some of the smaller ones and expect you to go to the Walmart 30 miles away. So it did leave kind of a void, and Dollar General, Family Dollar, stores like that stepped into some of the smaller towns and done pretty good. Have a Dollar General out in the middle of nowhere, out on the highway, no towns for miles. Yeah, you get that. Like I say, I mean, they popped up in a lot of little, tiny towns, 500, 600, 700 people. They got a Dollar General, a convenience store, and a post office. Unless you're in Wisconsin, then they have a dollar store, a convenience store, post office, and 3 bars. Anyhow, we're just about, we still got a few minutes left, coming up on an hour. Some of them stores want a pretty penny for cast iron. Yeah, I mean, I've seen, Dollar General once in a while, they'll have some, pretty cheap, pretty nasty Chinese cast iron. You're better off going to, to Walmart or Target or, I don't know about Tractor Supply. We have Farm and Fleet Farm around here, two different stores. Farm and Fleet Farm, and of course everybody calls Fleet Farm Farm and Fleet, and Farm and Fleet Farm. So you're never really sure where you're going, but they carry, they carry Lodge, and you're better off getting one of them than you are getting something really super cheap, because they'll work a lot better for you. You can make any cast iron work if you know what you're doing, but the really rough, really sandpapery, really cheap imported stuff, it takes some time and it takes some effort to get it to where stuff isn't going to stick and to where it's actually usable. And for a beginner, they'll just get frustrated and throw the damn thing away and figure that all cast iron is like that. But it's really not. Anyone finds the wall mounts for kerosene lamps, please keep you in mind. Cast iron wall mounts is seen on Gunsmoke or any old cowboy show. Okay. If I see some, I'll try and get a hold of them. But yeah, anyhow, I'm going to wrap this up. Go play around with my experiment, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to work. I'll get something out of it. So on Reddit, some Walmarts are clearancing some Lodge pans. Of course, not your Walmart. Tried picking up a casserole pan, since I saw some people are getting them for $18. Yeah, it's a pretty good price on them for the Lodge. But now and then, Lodge will discontinue something, or they'll change the they'll change the design a little bit and try and clear out the old stuff. And sometimes they just put them on sale. So keep an eye out. You can usually find stuff a little bit cheaper. But yeah, it's never your store that has the clearance price on them. But anyhow, like I said, I'll wrap this up. I'll try and have that video set to premiere for next Tuesday. That should work out good. At least have something on to keep you entertained on a Tuesday evening for a bit. After that, I don't know if I'll have another video done, or we'll just have to kind of play it by ear. But the following Tuesday, after the next two, we'll do an open stream, and you can bring on whatever you got you want to show, want to ask some questions about it. You'll be able to actually show people, and they can see what you're doing. StreamYard is real easy. I'll just post the link. You click the link. You don't need to sign up for StreamYard or anything like that just to come on a show. You just click on the link. You'll need a camera and a microphone or a phone. You can do it from your phone. And it's pretty self-explanatory, and it's nothing terribly complex or difficult. So I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And hope you all enjoyed the show. We tried to figure out as best we could what we can, and anybody that knows anything, and hopefully Pawpaw Dan will be around, be feeling better if he's feeling bad, and I can get this Lodge skillet lid to him at some point in time. Anyhow, we'll see you guys next time around, and bye for now.